Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing all right today. Well, I was trying to cut back on doing too many Overwatch videos and do a bit more variety, but wouldn't you know, now the mid-season patch notes have dropped. So let's go ahead and go take a look at them, shall we? July 22nd, 2025, Overwatch 2 retail patch notes. So here is our mid-season. Predictions. They've got to do something about Freya. I mean, honestly, in my games, I still don't see her very often, and she doesn't get much value, but I play in low ranks, so I can see where she'd be overpowered at the higher ranks. But really, Freya, and well, I'm about to say Freya is the only real outlier, but they never touched Sojourn either, but it's been 16 seasons now. I don't think they're ever going to do anything with Sojourn. So Freya and Sojourn, I'd like to see minor nerfs. I would imagine the rest of it's probably going to be over perks, because they've already done major changes to Stadium. And those are the only two characters I'm still really hearing complaints about. Yeah, nothing really it stands out to me, so let's jump into it. Expecting or hoping for nerfs to those two, and expecting a lot of perk changes. So, better together challenges. Overwatch has always been better with backup. From July 29th to August 25th, okay, so almost a full month, you'll get rewarded for rolling with your crew, complete 2, 4, and 6 games with a group to unlock up to 3 loot boxes, with each milestone paying out once. Simply completing the games is all it takes, but wins and stadium matches count double. So bring your A game, buddy up, and battle it out again to finish the season strong. Whether that's rallying old friends or queuing with new ones, have some fun, it's better together. I can agree with that sentiment. The game is always more fun when you're playing with other people. If I'm going to keep playing Overwatch, I might actually have to start looking for more people to play with, because the friends I was playing with have both moved on to other games. Sad. Junkrat's Loot Hunt. From August 1st to August 3rd, Junkrat is back with another blast of chaos, and it'll be raining loot again, and also probably shrapnel. Junkrat's Loot Hunt is bringing daily match challenges that will unlock 3 loot boxes per day and up to 9 loot boxes total. Play 2, 5, and 10 matches each day to hit your milestones and stack the rewards. Progress resets daily at 11 Pacific time, so you've got a fresh chance to go boom every morning. Glad to see that back. I don't remember how long it's been since the last one, but free loot boxes is always a good incentive to get on and play. General updates. New tag improvements. What is this? We've made several enhancements. Okay, the new tag. So this is just for managing your cosmetics. Yeah, mark all as seen button. So just quality of life changes on the cosmetics menus. Wasn't the mark all as seen button already in there at one point, or am I remembering wrong? I don't know. Drives. Competitive drives return from August 21st to 26th with a new challenge curve and the Season 17 signature. Rack up wins, checkpoint your progress, and master your climb. Squads wins earns bonus drive score, and if you completed the last drive, you'll see a shiny prestige upgrade waiting at the top. Before the first checkpoint, you won't lose any drive score for losses, and the amount you lose now scales up to the last season's rate as you climb the checkpoints, making it easier than ever to claim these awesome rewards. I've never really been a big fan of the drive rewards. I mean, they're cool, but I really don't care about that icon that much. I wish there was an option for a different reward than just the badge around your name. Drive Excuse me. Drive progress can now be earned in both competitive play and stadium ranked modes. Well, they don't have an unranked stadium yet, so that's interesting. All right, hero updates. Here we go. Oh, wow, they wrote an essay at the start. The meta has been in a steady state for most of Season 17. I mean, steady as in stale? Yes. Steady as in balanced? Probably not. So we are using this mid-season patch to take a look at less desirable perks, make adjustments based on hero ban trends. Okay, so then yeah, Sombra Freya are getting some changes there. And tweak a few heroes in reaction to the Season 17 changes and the more powerful damage roll passes. With Season 18 including many perk changes, we wanted to bring up a handful of our least picked, less powerful perks so that they are competitive options that cut through your standard gameplay loops. If they made that statement and do not change Hanzo's minor perks, then I've lost all hope in the balanced team. His minor perks suck. You have the choice to either take a Giga nerfed Storm Arrow, a Giga nerfed Scatter Arrow, where even if you somehow manage to hit every single arrow in it, it still does less damage than the original. Or, I mean, firing just a regular arrow. So you're literally nerfing yourself if you take that one. And the other option is that you have the option to waste your Sonic Arrow to hack a health pack. I would rather just get rid of both of the minor perks and give me extra progress, or give me the option to skip the minor perks in exchange for like extra progress towards the major perk or something. But I don't want either of his minor perks. I have to take the Sonic Arrow one just so I don't get nerfed by losing my Storm Arrow. Anyway, I don't need to go down that rabbit hole again. That one just frustrates me. But where was I? As players have gotten fairly settled in their perk choices on particular heroes, some of these changes are beyond where we would have started for perk balance in Season 15. Over time, we've learned what's necessary for perks to stand out as interesting choices and make a marked change in how you approach engagements. Below, you'll find some adjustments that are related to hero ban trends or the current meta. Orisa has seen her matchup spread shift since the introduction of hero bans, particularly when it comes to facing beam-based weapons. Being able to dodge heroes like Zarya has brought up her popularity and performance, so we're pulling back a bit on her survivability and cooldown cycle. What? I don't even understand that one. What do those two things have to do with each other? They're saying that the hero bans for beam-based weapons. The only beam-based tank is Zarya. No, I don't agree with that. I mean, I'm fine with them reducing her survivability, but saying that she's become overpowered because people are banning Zarya is... Yeah, I just can't agree with that. Anyway, for Freya and Tracer, we're pulling back slightly on their damage capabilities and attempting to find a good middle ground for their current standing in the damage roster. Zenyatta also sees his Harmony Orb healing increased as it has been lacking in environment with more powerful damage roll passive. Okay, so I'm fine with those last two. And again, I'm fine with them making nerfs to Orisa. I just don't agree with the logic behind that. If they're going to nerf Orisa, it should be to bring some of the other tanks that she counters power level back up. Yeah, that's just a weird one. Anyway, tank, D.Va. So the only change is to major perk. Number of rockets reduced from 8 to 7. Impact damage reduced from 7 to 5. Explosion damage increased from 14 to 22. Explosion radius increased. Projectile gravity increased. Wow. So, minor nerf to direct hit damage, but significant buff to explosion damage. But number of rockets was reduced by 1. So overall, I think that's going to balance out. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to accomplish. I mean, it's going to give better damage per rocket. But okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't see that changing anything. It's going to just flat balance out. Orisa, so what are the changes? She lost 25 armor, and energy javelin cooldown increased by 1 second. Sure. I don't see the javelin one. It could mess with the cooldown rotation. I don't think taking away 25 armor is going to do anything to Orisa unless they make changes to fortify, which they didn't. So Orisa's still going to be just as viable as she has been. Reinhardt, overhealth gain increased from 50% to 100% of charge damage. That's fine. Sigma, secondary ability, barrier, deployment cooldown reduced from 2 to 1 second. And massive impact minor perk, knockdown stun now reaches maximum duration at 30 meters down from 40 meters. So he can throw out his shield a lot faster, but the stun on the rock has a lower That's fine. I like the shield change. The perk change isn't going to do anything. Winston, bonus damage to buildable objects increased from 50% to 100%. That's a good change. He's still struggling to kill Torb turrets fast enough, so that's fine. DPS, Ash. Primary fire damage penalty reduced from 15% to 10%. Okay. Sidewinder. Knockback increase for both Ash and enemies reduced from 20% to 12%. Sure. So instead of having a decent perk and a bad perk, we now have 2 below average perks. I mean, they succeeded in making it to where people might choose the other one now. I still don't think it's going to make a difference. Bastion. Ult cost reduced by 7%. That's fine. Freya. Primary fire damage reduced from 30 to 25, but ammo increased from 12 to 15. Oh, wow. So they did nothing to the ADS. They did nothing to the dash. They did nothing to the AoE on the ADS. They did nothing to any of the parts that people are complaining about. They simply reduced the primary fire damage, which is a fairly slower speeded projectile, honestly. I mean, I'm not talking about the fire rate. Obviously, it fires quickly, but the travel time is less than a lot of other projectiles. Wow. That is... I'm glad they nerfed something, but that is probably the most useless nerf they could have done. Because it's her ADS fire that is upsetting everybody, and they didn't touch that. Honestly, what they need to do is either remove the splash damage altogether from the ADS, have it just be a skill shot, or keep the splash damage and change the dash resetting it to maybe dash reducing the cooldown. But the fact that you can jump up, dash, fire, jump, fire, dash, get 4 uses of that ability in barely a second is what's pissing people off. This is a horrible way to try and bring her in. Hanzo. Oh, wow. Hanzo did get a bunch of changes. Gosh damn it. I was about to say, let me read through it before I make judgment, but I just noticed there's nothing on there for minor perks. So even before I read it, I'm already disappointed. All right. Let's do it anyway. Stormbow. Bases is I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be base. So base projectile size increased from 0.1 to 0.125 meters. So easier to hit shots with the Stormbow. Dragon Strike Ultimate. Cost reduced by 8%. Damage per second increased from 300 to 400. I mean, that's fine. It's usually one of the harder ults to get kills with unless you combo it with something, so increasing the damage isn't going to hurt anything. Dragon Fury, attack speed duration increased from 1 to 2 seconds. Yamagami technique, cooldown speed increased from 250 to 300%. All of those are fine changes, but they did nothing to address the minor perks. So, balance team, y'all suck. That's all I can say. Both the Freya one is a joke, and the Hanzo one, they literally adjusted everything except the part that people complain about. It's got to be on purpose at this point, right? Junkrat. Aluminum frame now prevents trapped enemies from being healed instead of revealing them through walls? I'm sorry, what? Junkrat now has a way to apply anti-healing. Okay, that's an interesting... I'm going to have to think on that one. Because it's obviously not going to be happening as often. But the fact that it's happening at all is kind of insane. That one, oh wow. What's the other one? Major perk, concussion mine arming time reduced in half. So 2 just straight up buffs to Junkrat. Okay. I mean, I get they're trying to get people to take aluminum frame. Funny thing is, 9 times out of 10, I'd take it anyway, just because I know I'm the oddball. I don't like the other one. I like being able to throw my trap further. So the fact that it can now also anti is a little crazy. Reaper, ultimate reduced by 9%. Tracer, spread increased from 3 to 3.5. That's fine. Widowmaker, ultimate cost decrease. There's been several ultimate cost decreases. It was Widow, Reaper, Hanzo. Was it just those 3? I thought it was more than that. Alright, on to supports. Juno. Minimum fall-off range increased from 20 to 25. Interesting. I thought the whole point of Juno was they wanted you to get in close, so that's a little weird. Glide boost. Movement acceleration in air reduced when changing directions after the initial movement burst. Okay. Alright, there's another ultimate one. Lucio increased by 9. Wait, ultimate cost increased. So they're nerfing his ult. That's a surprise. All of the others did say decrease, right? Decreased. Oh, no, Reaper was also a nerf. Okay, so Reaper and Lucio now take more ultimate charge. That's a surprise. Zenyatta, healing increased from 30 to 35, and Transcendence increased from 300 to 400. Both those are good changes. Core map updates. They just redid Servasa. Market boxes have been added to the walls surrounding the point for easier upward access. So is that they just added this little like food truck looking thing here so that people have an easier time getting up? Temple and ruins. I'm not going to read through all that when we got a picture here. Wait. I don't think I've had a single Flashpoint game since they added the map voting. But I thought they made these changes at the start of the season. Because didn't they say in the dev blog that it was going to be at the start? I guess I need to go into a custom match later and actually look. But yeah, these are all the changes that were covered in the video. Yeah. So we've already seen all these in a previous video. I didn't realize they weren't coming in until now. I honestly thought they were in, but I haven't had a single Flashpoint game since we got map voting. Yeah, so we've already got a whole video going on over these changes. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into those again. Is that what the rest of it is? It's just going over the map changes? Oh, no, we got some stadium updates too. General updates. Ability tooltip details in the Armory UI are now always displayed. Okay. This option has been removed. Okay, sure. ADS sights for Ana and Ashe has been updated to fade out over time for the local player while scoping in from third person. Your camera will now smoothly fade when it collides with allies from third person. I haven't noticed an issue with that, but that's a good fix. All right, so are there any major changes on the stadium ones? Or how many stadium ones are there before I read through them all? Okay, there's not that many. Yeah, we can just cover them all. Honestly, it's kind of pointless for me to cover the stadium ones because everybody uses a different build anyway. But there's only a few, so we can talk about them. So Toki Slam Power, the damage now scales from both armor and shield combined. Face Tanking Power, increased healing scaler to 50% from 30%. Refraction Armor, normal survival item. New hero item, plus 25 armor while you have armor, gained 15% damage reduction against beams, cost 2,000. Again, giving D.Va more beam resistance is fine because that's always been her Achilles heel. But since you can't counter swap unless they just happen to start on Zarya, then that's kind of a waste. And if they do start on Zarya, it becomes a must pick. So that's still kind of iffy there. Orisa. Power now shoots the javelin after 0.5 seconds, and the javelin spin must be ongoing to shoot. Canceling javelin spin will also cancel shooting the javelin. So that's just a quality of life change. It's not really going to balance anything. Lassoed power. If a javelin hits an enemy, nearby enemies are pulled to the enemy's position now instead of where it was hit. So basically, it just doesn't trigger if you miss now. If javelin hits the environment, okay, no, so it does still do it. It's just there's multiple options to it now. So it makes it a bit more skilled. If javelin hits a barrier, the pull will not activate. Good to know. Damage may. Slowball power. Now normal hit with secondary fire will also apply slow to the hit enemy. Okay. Support. Ana. Unscoped resources. Added 15% weapon power to it. That's a little excessive. Juno. Stellar focus power. Increased duration to 50% up from 35%. Ooh, Kiriko got a lot of changes. Are they finally nerfing the clone build? Let's check the review on that. Kiriko's clone is reworked to serve a more utility-focused role rather than functioning as the overly lethal auto turret it once was. Okay, so yeah, that's why they're addressing it. Clone Conjuration. Now the clone's heal and damage contributes to earning stadium cash. Uh-oh. Now there's a short delay before it starts healing or dealing damage after being spawned. Clone's health has been reduced and can be increased by ability power. I need to know what that short delay is. Fleetfoot. Swift Step cooldown increased by 30% when used without a target. Foxy Fireworks. Projectile speed is now the same as regular kunai. I don't like that the clones will generate cash. And I need to know how much that delay is before I can say whether or not this is actually going to fix anything. Armory. Each stack of overhealth granted now expires individually instead of refreshing the duration of all stacks of overhealth granted for this item. That's fine. Honestly, I thought that's how it worked to begin with. I didn't know people had been exploiting it for multiple stacks of it. And then we got just the general bug fixes. So a lot of changes. I genuinely find it funny that I had not noticed that the maps had not been updated in game yet, simply because nobody has been voting for Flashpoint. So I might have to actually vote for the Flashpoint maps just so I can try them out. Either that or do a custom game. Because I do at least like the way this one looks. The water and the lily pads down in there does look a lot nicer aesthetically. But that's going to be it. Biggest disappointment is still they have not nerfed Sojourn, and the attempted nerf at Freya was the worst way they could have handled it. Because primary fire damage reduced from 30 to 25, so you're losing 5 damage per shot. Yeah, so it's gone from 360 per clip to 375 per clip. So this is actually a buff. They genuinely just did a micro buff to arguably the most broken character in the game. That's funny. Oh, yeah, people not going to be upset. They're not going to be happy with that. So that's going to do it for another video. I hope everyone out there had a good time and enjoyed it. And if you did, I think y'all know what to do at this point. Every little bit helps. Even if you turn off notifications, more you like, more you subscribe, the more content I can make.